hold on a minute. This is the one that was supposed to have the 8 gigabytes of RAM that has nothing. I'll go back to this one. Where are we? Come on, there you are. Shut that down. Good, okay. Now, let's move this back over to here where it belongs. I'll worry about that later. Now, I think this is, no, that's that one. Turn this one on. And HDMI, I think I've seen it over here on this side. Boom, ba boom. There you go. Yeah, sure, there we go. Got something here that may or may not work. I don't know if you're seeing that or not. Wednesday, March 28th, 2018, and it's 11:49, and I've been out here for about 2 hours already. I've been putzing around doing some research. I was on the internet. I was on the the net, doing some things on the internet, looking for a few things. So I've been putzing around out here. 55 degrees outside, 66 degrees in here, and 13.1 volts for those who care. And we're still doing updates here. Come on, I'm done with the updates. I don't care about updates. I didn't tell you to update. Jeez. So meanwhile, we had a little bit of rain, a heavy drizzle. Now, a drizzle. Who comes up with these words? Drizzle. But I guess some words just come natural, I guess. Who knows? You know, that's like red. Why is red red? Who decided that that color, a color, should be named red? You know what I mean? Where did that derive from? Blue. Why isn't red blue? You know? I mean, doesn't anybody think of these things? Am I the only one that thinks of these things? So meanwhile, I am looking for some type of a YouTube program here for a minute. So, like I said, who comes up with these words? Like drizzle. Yeah. Okay, guys, so what is going on today? Well, today is Wednesday, March 3rd. I'm sorry, March 28th. 3rd month, 28th day, year 2018. We had a heavy drizzle this morning, which is what they said, the weatherman said, we were going to wake up in the morning to a drizzle, and it would at that point stop by 10 o'clock, which it did, because right now it's about 11:49. I've been out here for a couple hours. Said the sun will start to come through, which it has not yet, but other than that, it's 55 degrees on the outside, 66 degrees in here, and the voltage, for those who care, is 13.1 volt, and that's where we're at. We have no wind to speak of, so the wind turbine isn't doing much, and nor do we have any sun, so the solar panel isn't doing too much. But other than that, that's where we're at. So meanwhile, with everything trying to run here, see, this is what I mean about this computer. If you try to do more than one thing at once, which I'm always doing, as a lot of us always do, this computer cannot keep up with you. That's all there is to it. Global source. I'm actually going to delete a lot of things out of this computer, including the emails. Let's get out of there. What I'm doing here is I'm checking. I have this ASUS projector that I bought about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And I really haven't used it. So I'm trying to kind of just figure it out a little bit. I'm on the little Dell, the one that I had all the problems with, because it's supposed to have 8 gig of RAM in it. It's only got 4. At that point, you know, it's a lost cause dealing with them assholes. You heard the video on that. So, however, we at least, so far, got a return authorization on sending back the RAM. Now let's see how long that takes before I actually get my money back. I did notify PayPal on it, so they should at least keep that kind of like in limbo right now. So that's where we're at. But meanwhile, let's go to YouTube here for a minute. It's a nice little computer, but you can't multitask on it, and you can't be in a hurry. You know, I'm not a game player, so that's not a big deal for me. But you would never want to play any type of games on this. If you were thinking about buying it for your kids, forget about it. It's okay for emails, Facebook, some word processing, you know, like if you want to do some homework on it or something. And YouTube is okay if you have nothing else going and you start with a clean slate. But other than that, it's really not a good computer. You know, so like I say, you know, oh, okay. Oh, by the way, I think I may or may not have told you, I moved the router box. Right now I'm working on wireless from the house, and I've got a very, very low signal here. But originally I couldn't even get wireless out here when Comcast installed everything. When it comes to Comcast, now I'll post a video that I did, but if you're going to have anybody install something, you know, a service into your home, Comcast or what's the other one out there, Frontier and all them other ones, don't have it done on a Saturday or Sunday. They are just looking to get it done. They don't want to be there, and that's all there is to it. Well, when he came out Sunday and installed our Comcast setup, now this was like a month or two ago, so everything worked. Everything is fine. I had no problems. I have no problems. The only problem that I had was he installed the main box that had the internet, you know, the wireless and everything in it, in the basement, stuck up in a rafter. And there's a video that I put on it, so you'll see. Stuck up in a rafter. And it just had no wireless coverage. The wife was getting wireless where, you know, she normally sits in the living room, which was about maybe 6 feet from the box. But on the first floor, you know, the box was under, you know, in the basement, up against the floor. In the basement, but she was getting wireless, and I would have had wireless where I am, but I like having the wire direct. I don't care too much for wireless. But meanwhile, and the mess that he made, the wires, was a nightmare. Now, I've been working on them. They're still a nightmare. I'll take the camera down there and show you. I've already did it once, but I don't remember. I don't remember. So, but when he did this, with the wireless box being so low into the basement, it had no place to transmit its signal. So basically, you know, if you look at it as being an umbrella, you know, it would kind of like just and it was going down into the basement concrete walls, which is underground. You know, the basement's underground. You know, so where's the signal going? You're wasting all that signal. Now, like I say, the box was here in the basement, you know, under the floor, up in the rafters. The wife was about here on the first floor, so about 6 feet, 7 feet, she had to make it through the floor, which, that was fine. But we never were able to get any signal out here, you know, which we used to, with Frontier. But it wasn't because Frontier was better, it was just because of where I put the box.
The real story of Pocahontas is way darker than the animated movie.
So the sound is coming out of the box.
While it's true that Pocahontas was the daughter of a powerful
out of
chief,
the projector.
she would never have been romantically
And there it is.
involved
So
with
it is
John
working.
Smith.
So basically
In
it's a
this
plug
new
and play.
world, I will find
And all you gotta do
not
is plug
only
it in,
adventure,
and you're
but
ready to
also
go.
love. Because when John Smith
Okay.
arrived in Jamestown in 1607,
Now that heat cup was because of this.
Pocahontas was only 10 years old.
Pocahontas. Okay, so we're done with that. So meanwhile, that's kind of like we didn't have any signal out here. Only because they did basically the same thing. So what I had done was I had moved the box from the basement up to the kitchen on the refrigerator, which is behind a few little gadgets, knickknacks, if you were to say, knickknacks, gadgets, whatever you want to call them. And we had no problem with internet, not at all. You know, wireless out here. Now I was wireless, but at the same time, like I said, I was also plugged into the Cat 5 because I prefer to have the wire. It is faster in my opinion. But when he did it, he just stuck it up into the rafter. You know, it was laying sideways. I mean, he just stuck it there. You know, I mean, this installer, I mean, I don't know. He knew what he was doing, but he was just lazy. When it came to hooking up the line to the phone, now you guys know how thin that wire is, the phone line wire, the regular phone line wire, the cord that goes from the wall to your phone. He took a twisted pair, you know, in this case, he stripped them, and he just rolled them together, twisted them together, and that was it. I mean, that was it. No crimps, no nothing, no heat shrink, no tape, no nothing. Nothing at all. I mean, it was disgusting actually. But, and then all the wire, he left it hanging. I got a video on it someplace. I'll see if I can post it. He had it hanging right around the 5 foot mark, across, 2 or 3 of them now, across the whole basement. So no matter what part of the basement you decided to walk in, you had to move, bend, twist, you know. I mean, it was just a nightmare. You know, this guy was not an installer. The living room, what a mess. I mean, it was a real mess. So, yesterday, I started to clean it up. And I don't remember. I think I have it on. I don't remember. I'll go down again with this camera and do it, so I'll know for sure. But I tried to clean it up, and you know, I started. Let's put it that way. And I'm getting it done. My main concern was all the wires that were drooped are not drooped anymore. You know, I don't want the wife to have to go down there, or even myself, at night, you know, and happen to walk across the basement and get hung, or have the wire get yanked out of wherever it was because it was right in the way and we didn't notice it, or if it was dark, or whatever the case may be. I mean, it was a nightmare. the living room, a nightmare. And then I'm here, all right? And I said, if you need me, call me, because I'll be in the garage. So I'm out here. I go in the house. He's got my wife helping him run wires through the wall. He's down in the basement, and he's got her up here, you know, trying to catch the wire that he's trying to run. Wait a minute. You know, ask me. Don't be asking my wife to do something like that. You know, I mean, this guy, I'll tell you, I got nothing good to say about him, let's put it that way. Other than he knew what he was doing. All right? He just didn't care on how he did it. But the wiring was all different. Because now I had to run a RG6, a cable, as well as a phone line that wasn't long enough. I had to run the Cat 5s that went to the TV. I had to run another Cat 5, which I actually ran a Cat 7, that goes to my computer. The wife's computer, she's still wireless. She doesn't really care to have a wire laying around. And even on mine, you don't know that the wire's there. But at that point, you know, I had to rerun all these wires new because the wires that he had put in weren't long enough to make that stretch. And I didn't want to start piecing wires together, so I had to run all new wires. You know, and it was just a nightmare. It really was. So I run all that wire, and that wire goes through the wall. You know, so all my wires are in through walls. They're not just drooped across or drill a hole in the board, or baseboard or something. They're all stuck up in through the walls. You know, with the connectors and everything. So I had to redo all that because, first of all, he didn't do any of that to start with. You know, he didn't use any of the stuff that's in the walls. You know, he just started drooping wires. You know, and it was a mess. So, but meanwhile, what I was saying, when I get back to it, that little computer out here now, I do have a wireless signal out here, which is good. Now that I got that box on the refrigerator, and you don't even notice it up there because there's little, like I guess you would call them knickknacks. You know, there's little things up there that kind of like disguise it or hide it. You know, so you really don't notice it up there. And then if you did, it's not all that bad of a looking box, but there it is. I mean, it's not like nobody else has one, you know. But that's about it. So I got to go in there, kind of finish that up today. And then I got that new camera that I want to get hooked up today if I can. The more I think about it, the more all I want to do is basically, let me turn this off. What is it? 12:25. You know, I actually, you know, the last couple of days I've been just really musha. You know, I mean, I can very easily, the sun looks like it's trying to come out. I can very easily go in there right now, lay down and go to sleep. You know, I mean, and that's what I do. I tell you, I've been going in the house early, and it's not that I've been doing any extra work. But I go in the house, instead of like 4 o'clock, I'm in the house 2:30, 3 o'clock. I lay on the couch, I pass out. I'm out until the wife gets home. Now, you know, normally I'll have supper started. But, you know, at that point, I'm out. Wife gets home, about 5:15. You know, we have dinner somewhere around 6. After dinner, 6:30 or so, she'll come out here with the boys, you know, walk around the yard, and I fall asleep on the couch. And I'll fall asleep until like 8 o'clock. And then 8:15. Then about 8:20, 8:30, the boys start to make a lot of noise. Duffy will get his ball and start squeaking it. Nicky will start to howl. Lance starts to give a little bark. Bear gives a little growl, and Tucker runs around squeaking whatever he has. They're basically telling us, okay, we want to go out again. Now, they can go out whenever they want. They don't need us to go out. There's a dog door there. But they want us to go out with them. so we have to go out with them. So I wake up, you know, they basically wake me up. I go out, the wife and I check to make sure everything's off in here, and you know, I clean the coffee pot and get everything ready for the next morning. The wife will, you know, walk around the yard with them a little bit, and then we go back in the house and we fix them their evening dinner that they like to eat before they go to bed. And at that point they munch, and then by 9:15 or so I'm on the couch and I'm ready to go back to sleep. I'll do some YouTube, you know, try to comment on a lot of videos and try to get them out of the way. But if I'm not done by like 11:30, you know, I'm like passing out. And when I drop the remote, it wakes me, and then I'll wake up, and then I'll do a few more comments, and then I'll pass out again. I mean, that's kind of how it's been working. So, just haven't been with it. You know, I'm hoping when it really starts to warm up, the sun's coming out, you know, I get a little bit more motivated. Now, when I do start things like that wiring yesterday, I go. You know, it's just getting me started. I just have a hard time getting started. All right, I'm done for now.